Was an idiot, and communicated with this woman on Instagram, because whatever. He's bored. He needs attention.
And he's, it's the pandemic, blah, 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 whatever.
I mean, whatever, whatever, yada, yada, yada. It's the panorama. So anything goes. Well, who cares? Yeah, I don't know. Sky Squad, we are back in the building, and we got to talk about the reactions that we are getting from the cast of the Real Housewives of Potomac with regards to this huge, humongous admission from Robyn Dixon that she did, in fact, know that Juan had been incommunicado with this alleged lady, okay, from last week's videos where we talked from the information that Sergio Says had provided about a woman who had contacted him regarding some alleged tryst that she had with Juan Dixon. Robyn admits on the podcast, Reasonably Shady, that yes, she knew about this woman. Yes, this woman was contacting, members of the cast. Yes, this woman was contacting people in the media. Yes, she knew all about this. Yes, Juan did have conversations with her. Yes, there is a reason why his name is on that hotel receipt. Yes, you were required to pay $5 for the Patreon to find out that information and not on the reality television show for which she signed up, for which we all watch every week to get the actual information about her real life that's supposed to be filmed on the reality show, allegedly. Yes, you were indeed to believe that there was nothing going on when Robyn called Juan after Ashley told her that Karen had told her that there was a woman around Georgetown that Juan was allegedly running around with. Yes, she did call him. Yes, he did get upset about that. And yes, here we are with the admission from Robyn Dixon that yes, indeed, he was having communications with this lady. And oh yes, allegedly, this woman did fly into town. No, Juan did not indeed pay for her flight, allegedly. And yes, it was true that she allegedly lost her wallet, and then Juan and a friend allegedly had to go down to the hotel and help this woman out. Yes, these are the things that we are being led to believe. But yes, these are the things that were also omitted from the Real Housewives of Potomac season 7 in lieu of allegations that Chris Bassett had indeed made Giselle Bryant uncomfortable, and that he was allegedly a sneaky link, and that he was allegedly trying to see if he was with it. But allegedly, Giselle and I'm sure Ashley also knew about this information that was going on about Robyn, but Robyn was allegedly waiting for somebody else to spill her own tea versus telling us her own reality herself. That is where we are today at this point right here. Now let's get into what the cast had to say about it, okay? Now, Candiace, ciao, okay? And this is coming up from our friends over at Jay's Reality Blog. And we got a lot to cover real quick. And I thought, why not do it live? You know what I'm saying? Because, ain't no party like a live party. So this live party ain't gonna stop. So let's get into it. So Chris Bassett says, so wait, there were truths that were omitted / not filmed during our season as a cast. We choose to tell falsehoods and lies about innocent people all season long. And now we are charging for the truth? WTF, I'm good on this BS, okay? And that's really the truth of it all, okay? Here's the thing. For me, what it says is that Robyn knew that this was going to come up in season 7. She anticipated it, but it never did. So versus telling her own story, what she was waiting on was somebody else to try to spill the beans for her. Like she was waiting on somebody to come to her with this BS, this information, but she wasn't willing to share that this was actually something that happened in her own life. So that tells us that this show is literally at this point about, waiting to see who's going to spill some tea on whom. That's not why we watch reality television. We watch for these people's real lives, or at least a modicum of their real lives. And so now you are out here. We already pay for cable. We already pay for streaming services. Now we got to pay you to get your actual real life on the Patreon. Boo. Boo, I say, boo. Chris goes on to say, just so we're clear, Giselle and Ashley knew about this before the season, allegedly. Well, no, it's not alleged. Giselle did know because she admitted to it on the podcast. So then he says, didn't bring it up. That's your friend, cool. But choose to lie as a distraction because what became the story at the beginning of the season was, oh, Chris Bassett made me uncomfortable. Oh, Chris Bassett is allegedly a sneaky link. Oh, Chris Bassett was trying to see if I was with it. Oh, Chris Bassett DM'd me to come to the View. Oh, Chris Bassett made my friend Deborah uncomfortable. Oh, Chris Bassett did this. All y'all are directing all of our attention over here to Chris Bassett when we should have been directing that attention at the Juan, okay? Because that's the truth, according to Robyn. I mean, just listen. That's the truth. Listen.
Yes, Juan was an idiot. And communicated with this woman on Instagram, you know, because I mean, whatever. He's bored. He needs attention.
And he's, it's the pandemic, blah, blah, blah.
It's a pandemic, blah, blah, blah. Just a regular day. Anyway, Chris then goes on to give some grace to Robyn. He says, I'm not mad at Robyn, but the others are trash for that. I'm a little mad at Robyn, okay? I'm a little mad at Robyn because here's the thing. Nobody wants to go through this situation. I'm sure it's embarrassing for Robyn to go through. However, it's real. It's real. It's real. You went through it. And when you sign up to do these types of reality TV shows, people want to see your real life. Imagine how many other people could have related to a story like this because they may have been cheated on themselves, or they may try to work it out with a partner who has, had some inappropriate communications. What do you do in that instance? How do you handle it? How do you manage your way through it? That to me is way more interesting than, some of the other fluff that we've gotten, especially stuff that's not really rooted in anything. And by the way, I don't know if you guys have seen Carlos King's video on this topic. I just literally finished watching it. That's what took me so long to come live. But one of the things that he said in that video was that he heard that allegedly, okay, I got to put in that alleged badge because they'll come and get you. But allegedly, there was a plot. Okay, here we go with yet another Potomac plot. All right, there was a plot before the beginning of the season that came together that established that the plan for the story for the season was going to be the Chris Bassett situation, a multi-tiered plan to come at Chris. Now, this is nothing new to Potomac. We have heard that there was plots before. Okay, have we not? Have we not? Let's think back. When did we hear about a plot? Well, we've heard about it. I don't even feel like going backwards on that one. But let's continue to move on. All right, so we got more to discuss from reactions. All right, so Dr. Wendy says clown behavior, okay? Clown behavior. And then she puts the cornstalk because it is a little corny. It is a little corny. The whole thing is a little corny. Like, at that point, just spill the tea on the podcast. Like, but dang, when I think about it, though, if I'm production, I am pissed. I am pissed because you knew all season that this was really going on and this is your story. And granted, you ain't got to share every bit of your life with us, but doggone it, y'all, it's a bunch of smoke and mirrors. We're going to actually divert everyone's attention here to this contrived story instead of focusing on the actual story. That just screams like, wow, like, it just makes you feel like, what am I watching this for? Why are we watching? Do I even need to watch the rest of the season? it's going to be a bunch of BS at the reunion because we know what happened. We know that the reunion was filmed before all of this stuff came out. So unless this was brought up at the reunion, what are we going to really get? Okay. Moving on. And of course, Karen says, well, you don't say. Well, you don't say. Okay. Oh, yes, you do say. You do say. Okay. You do say. We do say it happened. It happened. All right. All right. So let's move on because we've got a really scathing response from Candiace that we have got to discuss that really hits at the heart of why most of us who, hold on for a second. Alice says, y'all making nothing out of something. That doesn't even make sense, Miss Alice. You mean we making something out of nothing? I think that's what you mean. But for those of us who care about the show and care about reality TV that we are watching, we want to feel like the reality that we're watching is real. Case in point, and I'm glad somebody said something similar to this because I want to get at the heart of why this really matters since we're making nothing out of something. Okay. Let's get into what Candiace had to say. And again, Candiace's tweets get at the heart of why this matters. Okay. So Candiace says, wow, a thread. All right. Speak with the girl. Marcella says, Karen was not talking about the Canadian. She was talking about the Montgomery County girl, which is still active, allegedly. You know what? I miss Marcella. Oh, Lord, it's so much. Candiace says, wow, a thread. Our boss's favorite clapback when we're playing coy about certain aspects of our lives is, you're on a reality show about your life. There is an expectation that, doing no harm, we show up to this platform as our authentic selves. Now let's get at what she was talking about. She says, our favorite clapback when we're playing coy about certain aspects of our lives is, you're on a reality show about your life. So this is something that Andy frequently says on, the reunions or on Watch What Happens Live when he's asking a question and the reality television star that is being asked sort of demurs in response or, kind of, again, like Candiace says, plays coy in their response, right? So again, as she stated, there is an exception that expectation that doing no harm, we show up to this platform as our authentic selves. Let us continue because it gets so good. All right. Then she goes on to say, and while we reserve the right to be judicious about what we share, there is a special brand of audacity attached to individuals who will knowingly bury the lead in exchange for damning and salacious lies that stand to cause irreparable harm to innocent people. Okay? Now, a couple of points. Candiace makes the statement that we reserve the right to be judicious about what we share, which means, do I expect to know everything about this person's life? No. Do I need to know your bank records? No. What's your status at the bank? I don't need to know that necessarily. But in terms of what's really going on in your life, that's what we want to know. But she does say there is a special brand of audacity attached to individuals who knowingly bury the lead, i.e., people like the Giselles, and I'm assuming she's talking about the Ashleys, and you would have to include Robyn in this as well, to a certain degree, all right? Who knowingly bury the lead in exchange for salacious lies that stand to cause irreparable harm to innocent people, i.e., someone like Chris Bassett, right? In this instance, I'm assuming she may be referring to him. She goes on to say this, and Miss Alice, this is where we get to the real issue at hand. And if this doesn't matter to you, then I say continue on watching at your leisure. But to the rest of us who watch these shows with the anticipation that we're going to get some real meaty stories and fun as well, because otherwise, why watch it? I could watch Criminal Minds if I really wanted to see something acted out. She says it tarnishes the integrity of the premise of our show. It tap dances on the intelligence of the viewerships that champion our stories and discover their own parallels in our lives. And when it's not that deep, it simply occludes amusement, right? It tarnishes the integrity of the premise of the show, right? She says it's not entertaining. It's not interesting. It's whack. It's whack. It is whack. Why be open? And this is a great question, Miss Alice. This is a great question. And I want you to answer this question in the chat if you're still here, because I need to understand what you're thinking. Why should Candiace or Wendy be open or genuine or authentic when the least of us, okay, when someone else like Robyn or a Giselle can rob the viewers of the truth and continually be rewarded for it? Why? What reason does Candiace have to share her journey of IVF? What reason does Wendy have to share her health journey when someone else over here doesn't really have to show what's going on in their real lives? They can just make some stuff up for the fun of it all. And it's the least of us. That's the shade. And the better question, Miss Alice, is this: for the cast and for those who show up to build friendships or to show something on these shows, to make a great show, Candiace says, what are we doing? And Miss Alice, this is the question I want you to answer. A better question is, what are y'all watching? What are we watching? What are we watching? I'm about to pull up something. Give me 1 second. Give me a second. Because I got to take this one step further for the people in the back, for the people in the bike that don't hear. If you haven't watched Carlos King's response to this, please watch it. It is so good. So good. He says, I said every week on my podcast that something was off about this season. So while real story was happening, we were subjected to made up info. Made up info. Okay? Please get over there and watch this. Please, because it really dives into, again, the heart of what's really the problem in Potomac. And the thing about it is this: if you don't want to show your life, you don't have to be on the show. But if you're gonna be on the show, like, let's see what's real. That's all the viewers are asking for. That's all. Yeah, this is what it feels like. They're just sniffing out weaknesses in each other's partners to expose. It's very lazy. Bring back R&B divas. Absolutely. That's what I need in my life. So can somebody tell me where I can find R&B divas so I can go back and watch that? Because that was the good stuff. All right, so we had to talk about this.
Communicated with this woman on Instagram, you know, because I mean, you know, whatever. He's bored. He needs attention.
And he's, you know, it's the pandemic, blah, 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 whatever.
There's nothing more to say after that. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section down below. I will link Carlos King's video response to all of this news down in the description. So, I mean, it's a good watch. And I say it's a good watch from the standpoint of a producer, right? Who pulls no punches and holds nothing back when it comes to calling out, you know, people about, like, hey, come on now. Like, let's be real about what we're seeing, right? Let's be real about it. Yeah, it's like a lot of us knew something was off, but it was like, okay, we're just gonna keep following the story. But I don't even understand. This is the other thing that I don't get, and I gotta be real, and I'm gonna be real, and then I'm gonna go. Why even if I'm Robyn, why even go on the podcast and say any of that when you didn't have to? Was this lady still, like, allegedly bribing y'all? Like, was that the thing that pushed you to? Because I wouldn't have said nothing about this. Like, I felt like it came and went. You know, the news came and it went, and we was moving on. But this whole admission of it is just like, it's a slap in the face to the network, to other cast members, to production, as well as to the viewers. And then to add insult to injury, to then say to the viewers, I'm going to charge you to get the real tea. That was just not a good idea. It wasn't smart to me. And I'm really actually also disappointed that Giselle, your friend, allowed you to do that. Like, I would have been like, friend, I don't think that's the way to go. I think if you're going to tell your truth, just speak your piece and keep it pushing. But don't try to make $1 off of these folk when you done already fooled them once. That's just me. But meanwhile, that's all the tea we got for y'all right now. If anything else pops off, be sure we will come back and give y'all another video. All right. With that being said, listen, at the end of the day, everybody deserves happiness, how in whatever shape or form that comes in. Maybe at this point, the happiness for Robyn and this situation that she's in, her marriage, would be better played out outside of the scope of reality television. Because if we're not going to get an authentic, real story that we can grab and hold on to, that makes sense and that has some meat to it, it's like going to a restaurant, having a meal, and you still leave hungry. It's like, why did I go there?